Moving on from that, the next topic is more Tobey and Andrew moving forward in the MCU. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think Tobey wants to.
Nope, that's what I was about to say.
And
I think Andrew Garfield absolutely couldn't be more excited to be involved.
I think the thing with Andrew is, well, one, we saw the thing in the Morbius trailer. And then two, we had Tom Hardy. He had an interview where he said he wants to do a Spider-Man and Venom movie. Mm-hmm. And then, but he said that knowing that in the end credit scene, he's going to get instantly taken out of the MCU. So knowing that, could he be referring to one with Andrew? Because he knew if he was getting taken out of the MCU, he wouldn't be fighting Tom Holland Spider-Man.
I would love for Andrew to come back into...
That's what I think it's going to be. I think we're going to get Spider-Man and Venom. I think it's going to be Andrew.
So here's something that I think, based on the reactions of Venom in that end credit scene. The two Venom movies are before Andrew Garfield gets his spider powers. Because he doesn't know who Spider-Man is. And Spider-Man was well known in the second movie.
Oh, yeah.
He was known throughout the entire city. Famous. He had a freaking... He was helping out the firemen with a freaking helmet on.
Right.
It's true.
I mean, they made the cranes. All of the workers did the cranes.
Right.
So I mean, I think that the two Venom movies are before those, and whenever Venom is going to come back in, he's going to be in the wrong spot, and it's going to be a few years after Andrew Garfield's done this stuff, and then that's going to be the next Venom movie. Is going to be, hopefully, him fighting Andrew Garfield,
But see, and that's a good theory. But we know that Tom has already. Amy Pascal said this. Amy Pascal is over at Sony. She said that Tom is signed on for. Tom will be the main Spider-Man in Venom 3.
It's definitely that. That's. I mean,
Tom is
Andrew said. He said, "I want to fight an alien. It's gonna happen."
Andrew could it could be both of them. They could. I mean, because I don't know. I know
it's
that.
Happening.
I just know that what Sony and the relationship Sony and Marvel have going on right now, it's crazy. We're definitely going to continue to see way more of Andrew. We're going to continue to see I think we're even going to see more of Tobey. I know that you guys said that maybe not, and I kind of feel that way too, just kind of from... I know this is probably not a popular opinion, but I thought Tobey's acting, it was okay in this to me. It just was kind of like I felt...
bland.
It was bland. I felt like Tobey... Because
he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be there.
Maybe he doesn't.
But then again,
that goes into people with what they need to start doing now. Sorry, go do your thing.
I was just you probably had much more to say. I was just gonna say he's the older now he's more experienced. He's probably more chill now.
I just think what they need to start doing.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Is I'm almost tempted to say stop with A-list actors, right? What they need to do is find people like the example I will give again and again, other than Ryan Reynolds, is Henry Cavill doing Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher. How do you say his name?
It's Cavill, isn't it?
It's Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Cavill.
Okay.
Cavill. Whatever.
Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill.
But him playing Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher, he's like 90% of the reason that series took off. He's like, he wanted to do it. He is a fan. He's a huge fan of the Witcher series. He's a fan of the books. He's a fan of all of it. And he said he'll play Geralt forever. Geralt. Oh my god, why am I messing up the words today? But he will play Geralt until the end of time. Until he no longer can play it anymore. I think we need to find... I know, Cody's over here just like...
Cody's I'm
sorry.
But we need to find more people willing to play these roles for the long term.
Yeah.
I think is more important than... So we don't have to run into issues of recasting or like Tobey Maguire not wanting to even do it.
And see, I don't even know if it's so much that Tobey doesn't want to do it, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys we're not going to see it, because we are. We're going to see Tobey again in the future. I'm not going to say so much of him not wanting to do it. I just feel like maybe with everything that we know that Tobey's kind of personally been through outside of the role of Spider-Man, his own personal life, in the tabloids and paparazzi bothering him and things like that. We've seen him, lash out and things like that. But I think that it's been 20 years since, or however, 2008 was his last time being Spider-Man, so what was that?
Not quite 20 years.
15?
How does math work?
Yeah, like
13, 15, 13. Yeah, so he that was the last time he was Spider-Man. Maybe that same love that is there for, I don't know, Tobey's just got some personal shit going on.
Right.
So.
Well, no, when I get it, some people do eventually want to stop. It's just, I think you can tell when they really want to do the character, and that's another thing. There is doing your version of the character, what you think the character, or diehard fans who are like, no, I am source material.
No,
This character, and there's a huge difference. That's why I like Ryan Reynolds in just doing Deadpool, is because he's like, I want to do this right. I want to do it my way, and I think you need more people like that.
I thought, like I said, I that's why Tobey was kind of a tough grab for them anyway.
Come back, Hugh Jackman.
I'm gonna get on that. That's why Tobey was such a tough grab for Marvel in the beginning. I mean, they had to send Papa Feige in there to be like, hey, this is what we're doing. And I'm sure Kevin went in there. Kevin, like we're on a first name basis. Hey, I'm sure Kevin Feige went in there and was like, this is what we're doing, Tobey. This is like, I'm sure he laid it all the way out to Secret Wars for him, and he was just like, I'm sure Tobey was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because from my understanding, I know some people are saying this is bullshit. I don't think it is. From my understanding, Tobey was supposed to when Goblin stabbed him in that scene. We know that No Way Home had reshoots because it was shown, and then some people was like, and they had reshoots and blah blah blah. So in the original, Tobey died, but in the reshoots, because Kevin Feige and the rest of Marvel Studios and Sony were like, we really love the way that they're working together, and we've got this huge plan for the Spideyverse. We need to keep him alive so we can have him in future projects. So that's why we've still got Tobey Maguire in it, but I feel like he's laid all this out to him. Like he knows he's laying out to him.
You wouldn't sign up for it if it wasn't.
Yeah, right. So I feel like maybe he is that older, wiser, like Hugh said, he's being that more. Because
he is alive, that we're going to see more of him.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because he's alive, we're going to see more of him. Because, that's why they threw that line in there, I've been stabbed before.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, well, he's
I was wondering what they were referencing it to. I was like,
did he get stabbed? Yeah, he got stabbed by, it was Harry. Harry stabbed him.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Harry stabbed him. So yeah, it was like, that's why they threw that line in there. It's like, so the audience could be like, or some 4 audience members that maybe haven't seen the Sam Raimi films, like, oh, well, he's been stabbed before, so, he survived.
Right.
So, but he's gonna be in it again. And we saw from Twitter user.
Spider-Man.
He's used to being stabbed.
Yeah, he has crazy healing mutagen. Come on now.
Yeah, but we saw from a Twitter user, very credible Twitter user. If you have a Twitter and you are into that leaks and rumors, a culture like that, and you want to know what is going on in the MCU, Twitter user My Time to Shine, who we must protect at all costs, is never wrong, bro. I swear. I don't know whose, but it could be fucking Amy Pascal running that damn account. I don't know, but she's never wrong. She's great. So she tweeted about Kevin Feige wanting Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to come back for Secret Wars. And then we saw from Daniel RPK, who is again another very, very, very credible source when it comes to the MCU, say that Andrew is already in discussions with Sony and Marvel to have his Spider-Man 3 film. So, right. and I think that's what they're really going to do. And it's not that Andrew he wanted to stop being Spider-Man from the beginning. He has always loved being this character. You watch interviews and things he talks.
You can tell in the energy he brings to the character.
Right.
It's always for me. It's always fun to watch him be Spider-Man.
Yes.
Always. I mean, he's so. I mean, you said it. I mean, he is
the emotion.
Well, I mean, he is that quipping off jokes.
Yes.
He is the comic Spider-Man. An older comic Spider-Man.
The youth pastor thing. He's like, so are you going to go into battle? Youth pastor.
That cool youth pastor.
Yeah, it was like that. That was like, that's my Spider-Man. I love him.
Well, and it's also like a thing that is notable. A notable trait about Spider-Man is when he's fighting these villains. When he's fighting Rhino for the 4th time, right? It's almost like you're sipping tea with your old friend, because he'll just be like, "You're at it again, man," and he'll pull some jokes, but he's talking to them. Why are you doing this, man? Why are you still acting this way? You need to stop doing this. He's like almost lecturing them, not really, but you know what I'm saying? He's not just there to whoop ass, and I thought that's kind of how he was acting in this movie, where he would be like, "Come on, Electro, what are you doing?" And then
Right.
start fighting him. And then once Electro's powered down, he walks up like almost like an old friend who's looking at someone who he doesn't hate, and he's like, "Man." And they talk. That's Spider-Man. Like, I really do feel it from him.
And two, you know, I also was, like I said, I cried from the moment May died till the end of the movie. I cried in that moment where Tobey stopped the glider from penetrating Goblin, because it's just what that moment meant, bro.
Yeah.
It's what the moment meant. Knowing what Tobey's been through and knowing that he is, like Hugh said, the older, wiser of the three.
And the darker. He went through...
Yeah, and he's been through so much more than
Supposedly this Andrew Garfield's been through...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I just mean that he...
Hopefully, I want to see that in a film, bro.
For sure.
Tobey Maguire was the oldest one. He'd gone through the most.
Oh, yeah,
He'd seen how it played out, and he wanted... What did he say when he first got there? I want to help your friend.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to help him.
Right.
And in that moment, he was like, I'm sparing you from going through something that you cannot come back from.
Right. And even the moment
that will haunt you
the Cure,
forever.
With the Cure, when they were at the table and he was like, you know, I'll work on this. And then Tobey said, well, I'll work on one for Norman. I've been thinking of a cure for a while. And Tom kind of looked at him and then looked down. And then that's when he looked at him and was like, you know, we got to cure all of them, right? Because, you know, he's like, even though you want to kill him, we've got to cure them all. You know,
Yeah.
so... I loved it. I loved that moment. I thought that was great. So I think, you know, seeing more Tobey in the future is a necessity for the MCU and for just fan service in general. Honestly. Honestly.
Good old-fashioned fans.
Good
Well, and I think
old-fashioned
it solves the
fan
problem of, you know, we were all wondering, how are we going to do Sony? How are we going to do the MCU? What is about to happen with Spider-Man? I was kind of nervous at certain points. Like, how are they going to... So to say, instead of taking away from anything, we'll bring them all back. We will give each one its, you know, and do this right where everyone shares the Spider-Man. It's like...
Right. Yeah, it was great. Like I said, I thought they did a great job. I think with... so one of the other things that people were talking about, too, moving forward with them, is Andrew Garfield, or Tom. Tom would be more so staying in the MCU, possibly. We really don't know. This is all
that Venom
speculation.
thing was very mixed
And
up on
Andrew
that.
would be handling things in the Sony universe, which I really, really like that. But we also have to keep in mind that Kevin Feige also said Spider-Man is the only Marvel character that can cross dimensions. So Spider-Man, even though Tom is in the MCU, he could still, again, I'm going back to Into the Spider-Verse, those connective little things on the wrist, he could have that and cross over into the Sony universe if needed be, you know? So I just think that, I don't know, I think that we could be seeing Andrew take over things in the Sony universe, and that maybe things with Venom and Morbius and
I sure hope
Kraven,
so.
yeah,
That'd be really cool.
you know.
Like I said, I would love to see more.
And I think they're gonna, you know, introducing Miles. I think that Miles, I don't know, man.
You think
Because
Miles will get introduced into the Sony verse?
I think, I don't know. That's tough. That's tough because he's been mentioned now twice in the MCU, and he's but that I don't know.
Do you guys have anybody that you'd want to play as Miles?
No,
Not that Lil Nas X shit that people were saying.
No.
What?
Yeah, people were like, and I'm not talking like joking. And no, some people might have been joking, but there were some serious people that were saying, "Oh yeah, Lil Nas X would be great to be Miles Morales." Yeah, again, no, keep his ass in the Old Town Road. Don't come to the MCU.
But see, but that's what I said earlier goes to that. They need to find someone who is passionate about playing Miles Morales for a while. A young person who is like
bilingual, because he has to be Puerto Rican and black. Because people have just been fan casting celebrities that are just black. No, keep it comic book accurate.
Yeah, right.
He needs to be
bilingual.
Yes, he needs to be bilingual because
there's so much to draw on that, and that's what I think people often get confused about. Is there's a reason creating Miles Morales the way he is. There's so much you can draw from him that you cannot draw from Peter Parker. Right. There's so much culture. The culture is different. The way they think, the interests they have are different.
Everything.
Well, I mean, of course, the powers, but you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I know what you're
Miles
saying.
Morales will look at something an entirely different way than Peter Parker will.
Exactly. Right. Two completely different upbringings, two completely different cultures, two completely different...
Well, not only that, but Peter is always going to be a super genius, right?
Yeah, no, I mean,
but
he's
Miles
arguably
Morales,
the smartest character in the MCU.
Right, where
Peter Parker.
as he develops, goes to college, does his. Spider-Man is smart, man.
Dude.
Spider-Man is very smart.
Base level genius.
I would say, okay.
Like his...
Mr. Fantastic, bro. Iron Man.
Oh, well, sure, but Iron Man.
He's smarter than Tony.
Franklin Richards.
Franklin's a kid.
Franklin's one of the smartest minds in the MCU, though.
I mean, so is
Peter
Parker.
Reality doesn't
He's
exist
not
to
in the
him,
MCU,
so
but
yeah,
Marvel.
it's yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Banner up there.
Yeah, Bruce.
No, but okay, so what
I'm
we're
not
getting
saying.
at,
I'm not
like,
saying that Spider-Man's
But
not smart.
my whole point though is with Spider-Man's intelligence, right? He can try to solve. He'll look at a problem and try to solve it in an entirely different way than Miles would. Where Miles doesn't need that intelligence because he can draw on something else for that, a different form of inspiration for how to do something. Because I'm not calling Miles Morales stupid, but Peter is the nerdy super genius.
Right.
Well,
Miles Morales
is... most of us are probably stupid compared to Peter Parker.
Yeah,
So
exactly. But Miles is much more
My
like.
ass would have been floating around the mirror dimension. I'd have been like, shit.
Oh, he got me.
He's like, oh, I love math.
Yeah, 90% of the problems in that movie wouldn't happen if I was in the Spidey suit. So, so I'd have been stuck, just hanging out.
I mean, I would have just pressed the button from the beginning. So
There you
most problems would have happened just because I would have complied.
go. Very okay. I'm sorry. I pressed the button. I'm sorry, sir.
You guys, let us know what you guys think about Tobey and Andrew moving forward in the MCU. If you have not, and I'm going to say this every time, if you have not or you don't know what Secret Wars is, I'm not going to catch you up in this. But go educate yourself because it is what's coming. Because a lot of you regulars are going to be like, oh, what's going on? When's Secret Wars? I'm telling you now, it's coming. It's going to be bigger than Endgame. So, it's going to be bigger than Endgame, bro. It's going to shatter
Let's not do the Secret Wars.
every record. I promise you. So, let us know what you guys think down in the comments about about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield moving forward, about their roles in the MCU and Sony and the Spider-Verse and everything. So let us know what you guys think about that. Next topic moving forward is going to be just the future of the... did we talk about that? No, we didn't. The future of the SMCU, the Spider-Man Cinematic Universe.
What we're wanting to see going forward.
With the Spider-Verse, because the reason I bring this up is because Tom Holland did a Tom Holland did a interview. Oh, okay.
He's gonna fight you.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's down here. Tom Holland did an interview with Fandom. And they were asking him about his journey so far as being Spider-Man, and asked him, what do you want? I think they asked him what does he want to see moving forward in the MCU. They said, there is a future, there's a future Spider-Man, whether this is Tom talking, I'm sorry. There's a future Spider-Man, whether I'm part of it, I don't know. Holland tells Fandom ahead of the release of, what is that?
The culmination.
Oh, Lord. Of the first MCU trilogy, Spider-Man No Way Home. It's his 6th outgoing overall as Spidey in the 5 years since he made his debut. So Tom Holland was kind of just talking, he's going to be talking about, just what he wants to see moving forward. And one of the things that he said he wanted to see moving forward was Kraven. And I'm going to pitch that video because there's a video in there. He was talking about seeing Kraven moving forward in the MCU. And I think that, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. He said that they had pitched Kraven to him before No Way Home was even a thing. It was going to be a Kraven-centered film,
and all sorts of different stuff. And John pitched me this Kraven movie, which actually was really cool. I don't.
Kraven was going to be the villain, and he said I don't want to go in too deep to that because they still may use that. Again, it's certain words that they're using. He knows that they're using that later on, but.
Right. Well, but then I would love to see Kraven. He's one of the. Because let's be honest here, if you've read Spider-Man comics, he has some really good villains, but he also has some really.
You don't like Kraven?
I love Kraven. Oh. I'm saying he is out of the pool of Spider-Man villains. Some of them are very lackluster, kind of goofy. When you get really further into what we've touched.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
And that's a lot of superheroes in general.
If you pull into anybody's comic book villains, there's
right,
a lot that
but
are
if you sit
goofy,
there,
so.
They've shown a lot of cool ones, and I was just sitting there thinking, what could they do what have they not really done? And Kraven is awesome. He is a great idea movie. I think it's a great direction to go in.
And who they got playing Kraven? Aaron Taylor Johnson? Perfect, bro. He played Kick-Ass, played...
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I drawing a blank on Wanda's brother's name? Quicksilver. Yeah,
Quicksilver.
Played Quicksilver in the MCU, but now he's going to be playing Kraven in the Sonyverse, and I think that's perfect. I think he's, first of all, he's already got the, what is he? I think he's already got the accent, because Kraven's Russian, isn't he? Yeah, Kraven's Russian.
Sounds Russian.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's Russian. His brother, half-brother, is Chameleon.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why I just think it's a great choice to go rather than any, I just wasn't sure of the direction. Are we going to go more with Kingpin? What are we going to, who is the next big, especially if we're doing Spider-Man's growth stage, who is going to be the next big villain for him? I think it's an awesome one. Not everyone knows a lot about Kraven.
No.
The casual fans don't know a lot about this guy, and there's a lot to go after. So I think it'd be
I don't know a lot about Kraven.
Oh, he's badass.
Yeah, Kraven's cool. Kraven's a cool villain. Tom had even brought up Madam Web, that he would like to see Madam Web show up in the MCU or somewhere around those lanes. And here's the thing about that. Tom is not. This is when we see Tom being interviewed, because I've had people sending me links on Instagram and things like, well, Tom's saying he wants to take a break, or he wants a family, and he wants to not be doing Spider-Man when he's 30. Bro, Tom Holland just finished his last Marvel contract, all right? So at this point, he is fishing. He's throwing things out there to Marvel and Sony to say, hey, even though he's probably really not leaning on the fence of not doing Spider-Man, but he's going to make them think he's leaning on the fence of not being Spider-Man, so they throw him more money in his next contract. Tom Holland's definitely coming back as Spider-Man, bro. That's not a... Stop that conversation. That's not a thing. So he's throwing these things in these interviews he's having. He's like saying like Madam Web and saying Kraven and saying Miles Morales, because he even brought up Miles. These aren't things that Tom's just like, oh, in the heat of the moment of the interview. These are things that he's already had discussions with Sony and Kevin Feige about.
I think Disney's about to throw so much money at him that he's gonna have a tough time saying no.
He's not gonna.
He's
say
about to.
no.
He's gonna be making the Robert Downey Jr. money. He's gonna make more money on one movie than he made in all the movies that he's made so far.
Right.
That's where it's like. You're not done.
No. We will bring you back.
Not when there's that much on the table. Like, I mean,
well, like that. Do you know how fun
they have
it
to
would
get
probably?
somebody.
But you are Spider-Man to a generation of kids. You're Spider-Man, man.
No,
Especially
he
for
is
how long he
Spider-Man.
could.
Well, I mean,
and how long he could
He's
play this out.
Spider-Man. Like, you look at Tom Holland, I don't like all these other movies, like Uncharted. He's doing that movie with Daisy Ridley. He did that sucked. That movie that he did that was
I want to see
Uncharted looks good.